Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hood. I'm your Hood Sommelier, and today we are going to talk about Buffalo Trace, and we are specifically going to talk about the Mashbill 2 of Buffalo Trace. Is he worth the money? Is he worth the pursuit? Is he even worth the secondary market that we see right now? I'm talking to you, Buffalo Trace. You got some explaining to do. When it comes to the mash bill 2, but that was introduced about 15 or 16 years ago, according to my Google research, mash bill 2 is a high rye mash that was introduced by Buffalo Trace. And out of that high rye mash, there was 5 principal bottles that came out of it. And the first bottle will be the Ancient Age. That was the first bottle. Then from what I remember, you have Blanton's, which is probably the most popular out of all the mash bill 2. Then we have Hancock Reserve. We have Rock Hill Farm. And last but not least, we have Elmer T. So every single bottle that you see here kind of have a personality of their own. They have their own reputation. They have their own kind of history with the public. But I'm here to ask the question, is it worth the money? Because as of now, I'm gonna tell you guys, the craziest thing I've seen is how can a $45 to a $60 bottle that is also from the same mash bill, meaning there's nothing that have been changed but a rick house or how it's blended, but it's the same juice that just vary, and you end up paying way more money than you need to. Come on, explain this to me. I'm still talking to you, Buffalo Trace. You got some explaining to do. Anywho, as we keep going, I'm gonna taste each single one of these bottles, and I will give you my honest opinion. I want you to be able to give me your honest opinion as well. Because there's this thing in the whiskey world that probably is the biggest fight. The most known bottle out of all this line of bottles is Blanton's. I remember 6 years ago when I got into the whiskey, everybody said, get a Blanton, you need a Blanton, you need a Blanton. And I don't know. I want to know, or I want people to tell me, is it a marketing gimmick? Or is it really good whiskey or bourbon that you truly need to have on your bar? For that, I'm going to start with probably the forgotten one, right? The old one, which is the Ancient Age. Ancient Age usually runs you about $14. It's like the redheaded stepchild of this whole line. No one look for Ancient Age. But people that are originally from Kentucky love Ancient Age. If we have to compare it, we need to start with the cheapest one, because for me, cheap in price doesn't always mean cheap in quality. So I will have a quick story time. Story time. I'm new into the whiskey. I'm walking in, I'm asking people, what's the best Kentucky whiskey I can have? And every single person I walk in just say, man, if you don't have Blanton's, you don't have anything. Is it true? Okay, so I'm running, right? Running. And I'm talking to everybody. I jump on my Facebook. I jump on every single live I have. And I'm talking to everyone, and I hear, oh, you want Blanton's? Oh, it's gonna be $100. I'm like, what? Yeah, you want Blanton's? It's gonna be $100. So I'm a newbie. I don't know if it's $100. I just know that I was told that if I'm gonna have a good whiskey, you need Blanton's. Fast forward 2 years later, I realized that it is a $65 bottle. Fast forward another 2 years later, I'm talking to a Kentucky-born person, and he goes, no, Blanton is only $45. You know, they put a lot of work. It's hand bottled. Is really good. So it's $45. And I go, $45. I spent $110 on this thing and it's $45. What happened? And what happened is what always happened in this industry, the hype, right? The hype that everyone want to jump in and heard about this bottle, never even tasted it, and jump in and go, oh yeah, I need to get this bottle. So obviously, is it worth the money? Is it worth the pursuit, right? Knowing that Buffalo Trace delivers probably one of the most sought after bottles in the industry. They have Mashbill 1, which is E.H. Taylor. Everybody's looking for E.H. Taylor. They have the Pappy line, every single one. I remember I was told that I will know I've reached the pinnacle of my whiskey journey when I have Pappy Van Winkle in my hand like a baby Jesus and going, oh, that's literally what I was told. I found that to be a misleading statement from the person that told me, but that's because I've been 6 years in. I had a chance to sit with people and understand really what this whole thing is about. So let's start by tasting the cheapest one, because honestly, all these bottles, and knowing what I say on this channel, the truth is barrel proof. So things that are not barrel proof, I'm kind of sketchy about. There's no age statement. So I don't even know. This say ancient age. So I know I found an ancient age that is 10 years old. That used to be the most expensive ancient age. But there's no age statement. If you look at this, it doesn't tell you if it's a 5-year whiskey, 10-year whiskey, none. If you look at each single one of them, there is none. And most of them range at what I call the perfect bourbon proof. So for me, just in my simple, humble way, they will all taste the same. So let's start with Ancient Age. Ancient Age is sour mash. It's a Kentucky bottle. You can see it, simple Kentucky bottle, made in the same place, which is we have I believe is Frankfurt. Yeah, Frankfurt. Yeah, yep, yeah. Crafted in Kentucky, in the Kentucky River. Very easy, simple bottle. Nothing. You remind me of a Jack Daniel bottle. If you look at it, almost like a little Jack Daniel bottle. Nothing too fancy. It's 90 proof. Really straightforward. If you blink and walk past this bottle, you probably think it's a Jack Daniel bottle. It's just not black. But you think it's maybe one of those fancy Jack Daniel bottles. So let's crack this bottle. I had to actually look for this bottle for this episode because I'm like, can I find Ancient Age? And the truth is yes, I can find Ancient Age. 14 bucks. That's what it was. Just $14. Let's start by just getting on the nose. I don't like the nose so far. The nose is kind of dirty. But you still get a little bit of that vanilla, a little bit of oak. And nothing really impressive on the nose, actually. Vanilla, oak, and a little bit of cherry, a hint of it. A little bit of apple, too. A little bit of apple. So, if you look at the color, light amber, right? Very light amber. Nothing too fancy. Nothing to go to school about. The legs are not bad. That is 90 proof. You shouldn't expect anything more out of it. So Ancient Age, let's give it a taste. On the first note, you get apple. You get some apple, some citrus. Apple, citrus, a little bit of sweetness. Small Kentucky hug. Just a little small Kentucky hug. Nothing too major. I like to say is a high buy. You know, nothing, as I like to describe on this channel, if this was a date, she's just a regular schmegular girl, you know. This is what I would consider a good sipper. It has enough undertone. It gives enough appleness, citrusy, and a little bit of pepper spice, right? A little bit of rice spice in the back that you can feel in your throat. But it's for $14, I'm actually impressed. I like it better than some of these $14 bottles that you can get. So it's not bad. It's not bad. I like this. This is, I can spend less than $20 on this bottle any day. Now, guys, let's see if it's true, right? Let's see if it's true that all you need is just put some ancient age on a horse on some ancient age, and you will have some Blantons. Now, before we talk about Blantons, we need to understand one thing. I personally will tell you this. I like Blantons, but not the one you think, right? So when it comes to Blantons have a lot of variety. So you have the regular Blanton, which is the single barrel Blantons, which is the regular Blantons. But obviously, you have the Blanton Green, which is what they call the Japanese Blantons. You have the Blanton Gold, which actually is a better looking bottle. You find it a lot in Europe, the UK Blanton. So this one is still always mixed, blended, not a really high proof, but a little more high proof is about bottle and bond 101. When you see the bottle and gold, it's gonna be, it used to be found only in the UK. The good news, this September is gonna be available on the US market, I believe, for 129 is what it's gonna go for. So, and then last but not least, because for me, like I said, the truth is barrel proof. Last but not least, for me, my favorite Blanton is the Blanton straight from the barrel. Because it's straight from the barrel, I'm getting the original juice that I spend money on. I spend money for. This Blanton, of course, is also found in Europe, but thank God it's going to be available now on the US market as well. I think about 100 something, but it's going to be very, very allocated. But if there's a Blantons that I keep in my collection, I can't legally say how many of them I have, but let's just say I have plenty. It's straight from the barrel. You getting exactly what the juice was intended to. So if I'm gonna buy a Blanton and I've tasted this one, obviously I have a problem with this single barrel Blantons. Because for me, they've taken away that flavor, that barrel, punch in your face that you're getting. So let's give it a shot. Let's truly give it a shot. I want to know, compared to the ancient age, and I'm going to pour a little more of the ancient age so we can do a true comparison if it's truly the same. So let's go. And this Blanton that I have here, this single barrel that I have, is a store pick, but usually it's not a huge difference. People think it's a huge difference, but I really don't think so. On the nose, okay. The nose is different. The nose smells more oily. You get a little more of that rye. Apple, spice. But it's not so pungy as the ancient age. Sorry, let me get the ancient age. Yeah, the ancient age is much more pungy. So, okay. At least at the beginning, color is about the same. Color is about the same. Nothing different. Color is right about the same. So we're not really getting anything out of whack here. But the nose is much more oily. Smell a little more rye. Okay. I get apple, citrus, and a little hint of a little bit of cinnamon. But Let's give it a shot. Okay, I like it. It's a little more caramel, a little more caramel, a little bit of spice. No hug at all. I'm not getting that Kentucky hug at all. More of that rye spice that I'm feeling on my throat. You get a little more apple cinnamon, dash of cinnamon. Caramel. I can't place it. I feel like very citrusy, but almost like blood orange-ish. So I'm liking it more than the Ancient Age. Is Ancient Age and Blanton the same? No. The taste profile is definitely different. The taste profile is definitely different. I wouldn't put those two against each other. For sure, the Blantons will always win. Because from just the initial profile, I'll be honest, Blanton so far is looking better than the Ancient Age. So, are they worth? Is the Blanton worth, 5 times or 4.5 times the Ancient Age? I don't know about that. I personally believe the best Blantons that ever came out of Buffalo Trace is the Blanton straight from the barrel, bar none. If there's any Blanton I will run after, I will chase and pursue, that would definitely be the straight from the barrel. The next one to follow will definitely be the Blanton Golds because it still have a little bit of that oomph to it. Hopefully, we will have a Blanton show off and a Blanton's tasting in our future episode where we can actually sit down every single Blanton's and know exactly, right, which one should it come off to be the best. Now, we have 3 more that come from the same mash bill. So they're the same thing, just different brick house. So let's see how Hancock will actually stand against Blanton's. Now, Hancock is 88.8, so 1 proof less than the Blanton's. 1 proof less. Would that really make a difference? I don't know. I'm not sure. The next one we are trying, obviously, is the Hancock. Hancock President's Reserve, right? Hancock President's Reserve is one of those bottles that are kind of weird in their own way. It's a single barrel as well, just like the Blantons. What is very interesting about this bottle is 88.8 is actually really beautifully preserved. Have a little, I like to call a little, better yet, a little oldiness to it, a little sophistication to it. It's not really gimmicky like the Blantons with the derby and that on top, but I like this because it's more an adult looking bottle. Hancock is hard to find. I've tried to look for it for a long time and I finally found it. And as you can see, I haven't really poured a lot of it. I've had this bottle for almost a year. For me, it was, but I want to revisit this thing today for you guys to get my true, honest opinion of pouring this, right? I want to make sure that you guys get what do I think. So one thing about Hancock Reserve, it looks a little, about the same color as the rest. So you can tell they're all the same mash bill, about the same thing. So it's not any darker. On the nose, you get that same oiliness that you get with the Blantons. I get a little bit of citrus. Not a lot. I guess citrus and a little bit of oiliness from a little bit of rye, but nothing else. You get caramel, citrus, a little bite on the front of my tongue, caramel, a little orange zest. Same thing as the Blanton. You still feel that rye spice in your throat, like a little bit of that rye spice in your throat. But no finish. Really, no finish. Is it worth the $90? I believe that it was about $100. I would say no. It actually reminds me of the ancient age. Is regular schmegular. Nothing to go to church about. Nothing to scream around about. It's just an okay bottle. No profile to it, no character to it, just apple, cinnamon, straightforward. Will I spend $35 on it? Yeah. More than that? Probably not. So that was the Hancock. Is now let's talk about the most ridiculous bottle. So Rock Hill Farm, when I bought Rock Hill Farm, a friend of mine actually introduced me to Rock Hill Farm. 2 years ago, I had the Rock Hill Farm, and it was $79 at that time. And I can tell you right now, today, for you to get your hands on a Rock Hill Farm, you pay between $220 to $250. Why? I do not know. But we are going to do a taste test because we just tested. We are talking from the cheapest to the most expensive in the line of the Buffalo Trace Mashbill 2. That's what you have right now, from the cheapest to the most expensive. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know how we're gonna end. But honestly, let's pour the Rock Hill Farm and let's see if $220 is worth spending on it. Now, Rock Hill Farm, if you look at it, just have an amazing looking bottle, right? If it comes to actually bottles that look great, this is probably one of the best bottles to have. And also, out of the whole Buffalo Trace single barrels, this is the one that actually is 100 proof. So it is bottled in bond. It's 100 proof. And it just looks just very amazing. It looks, very, very, you get the top one that is here. You get, it's a very beautiful bottle. Have some stallions on it. Look really good as a single barrel. Color wise, same. Light amber. Just a little bit darker. If I look at it, just a little bit darker, right? A little bit darker. The oil rye spice still the same, kind of the same profile as what I just smelled with the Hancock and yep, same. Yep, we getting the same thing. Nothing really major. That oily apple, cinnamon, and rye. So let's give it a taste. It's a little more higher proof, so we are hoping that it's gonna be better. I see more apple, more fruity. It's much more fruity on the taste. You don't get the sweetness, but that rye spice on your throat doesn't go away though. You still feel that rye spice. So, is it better? I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's right close. It's very neck and neck with the Blantons. It has a little bit of that weird That really, really, I'm telling you, that really weird, same profile, really rye, but you do get more because the flavor are more enhanced. So you get that citrus, the apple. Really get that citrus and apple out of it. But again, I believe I can blame this on a higher proof. Again, one of the reasons why I like Blanton straight from the barrel is because this original juice that actually was blended and put in a different rick house bring a little more flavor forward of the fruitiness. But this whole thing is very fruit forward. Apple, cinnamon, blunt orange, citrus. That's really what you get. So now, is this flavor, if I've tasted the Blantons and the Hancock, which the Blanton is cheaper, will I run to go buy the Rock Hill Farm? I'm sorry, no. But for $79, same thing as what the Blanton's selling, $69, I may actually buy it for the shape of the bottle, you know, really like it for the shape of the bottle, really embrace it because it's just a beautiful masterpiece to keep in your bar. But is the profile very off from a Blanton's? Probably not. Just wait for a store pick of a Blanton and grab it. You may be pleasantly surprised. Now let's come to our main man. Let's come to Elmer T. Elmer T, very forward bottle. You know, Elmer T, same thing. According to legend, Elmer T produced one of the best, right? The most fine bourbon out there. Now, there is the Elmer T actually have two kind. There's a 100-year anniversary, and there is the regular Elmer T. Why don't I have the 100-year anniversary? Because it's way too expensive. People want to sell that bottle at $500. Why? If I know what the story of my juice is, and I know that is the same mash bill, they're all mash bill too, why will I spend $500 because of an anniversary, right? So this Elmer T, I believe I got it about $69. So close to the Blantons. But today on the market, people will sell you Elmer T probably up to $250, $300. Why? I don't know. Is it worth $300? Let's taste it and see. All right. Same test. Color, light amber, light gold. That's what it is. There's nothing fancy about the color. If you look at it, legs about the same. This is 90 proof. I feel a little more apple and cinnamon on this one. For some reason, a little more toned down. I don't feel so much burn of the spice rye. I'm pretty sure I can put this thing against the Blantons. If you look at the Blantons here, we have the Blantons here. And if I put this thing against each other, color is about the same. Color is about the same. You definitely get the color about the same. If I smell them, the Elmer T have a better smell. It's better on the nose. It's fruitier. It's more fruitier, more forward. But honestly, compared to the Blanton, it's not too off. Elmer T, okay. So, in conclusion, right? You get into whiskey, you knew, right? Here we are trying to teach you how to taste like a pro and just, drink like an average guy and not spend too much money. So, when I say the truth is barrel proof, I say this really by experience. Are bottle gimmicky? Yes. Is marketing trying to sell you something? Of course. I'm still talking to you, Buffalo Trace. I'm totally talking to you. But if you really are looking at a bottle, really know the history of that bottle. Because I can tell you right now, I just tasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there was nothing very wowing about those 5 bottles. They're all under, 100 proof or under. They all look different shape, but the juice itself is about the same profile. So before you get on a hype and jump and do that, know what you like. Like, honestly, if I had to buy something, will I buy Ancient Age? Probably not. Will I buy Blantons? Yes. Will I buy Hancock? Will I buy Rock Hill Farm? For the bottle, I will. Elmer T may be the one that I will buy for the taste, for what needs to be done, for, really the profile that is needed. But I'll buy a Blanton, I'll buy an Elmer T. But will I buy just the collection to have it? Unless you're crazy like me and want to have a collection, yes. But is it worth the pursuit of all these bottles? I'm sorry, Buffalo Trace, it is not. If somebody has a Blanton, they pretty much have tasted the profile of all these bottles. If somebody has an Elmer T, you definitely have tasted the profile. So get one. Get one. If you're a high proof person, get the Rock Hill Farm. That's 100 proof. But if you're a low proof person, get you a Hancock. You're not missing out really on the profile taste. You're not really missing too much. You're not far off. So is Buffalo Trace Mashbill 2 worth the money? My answer is if you're picking up one bottle. All of them, that will be a no for me. So, Buffalo Trace, maybe I got it right, maybe I got it wrong. But the truth here is, if you're not giving me barrel proof, for me, you are telling me a lie. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys watching this episode. If you have any comment, please comment below, and I'll be willing to actually discuss your favorite Mashbill 2 bottle anytime. Peace. Thanks for watching my videos. Really appreciate it. For more information and more reviews like this, please check out the links below. Subscribe to my channel, and please check out my IG for more daily contents and way to make cocktails. And if you want to wear awesome gears like this, check out my website on the description below.